The Best of Wodehouse, an anthology put out by Everyman's Library. And there's an introduction by John Mortimer. P.G. Wodehouse is a favorite of mine, just for light, fun reading. For those of you who don't know, P.G. Wodehouse is the author of the Jeeves novels, the Jeeves stories and novels. That's probably what he's most famous for. This is in Everyman's Library. They're always, they follow always the same pattern. They're cloth bound. There's always a ribbon. They're sewn properly, sewn in on acid-free paper, and their spines look like this. Everyman's Library with this strip. I've mentioned before, Everyman's Library is color-coded, but I don't really remember what the colors mean, and I botched that last time when I tried to talk about it, so I won't do it this time. So it's an anthology. It's not illustrated. There's not much to see inside. The paper is of normal, I would say, normal hardback thickness. Nothing particularly special, but it is acid-free. It'll last a long time. And, you know, it follows, well, if we can have a quick look at the table of contents here. The Code of the Worcesters. There's a bunch of Jeeves short stories here and other short stories, and that's it. So this one here is an actual novel, and then we have a bunch of short stories. The Code of the Worcesters, though, so this is a Worcester and Jeeves novel. You know, if you don't know it, he's a very wealthy young man, Worcester is, and he has a manservant, a valet, who helps him along his way and also gets what he wants himself. Jeeves is brilliant, can do anything. He shimmers into a room, he fades away, he accomplishes all his goals with a minimal fuss and a lot of humor. One of the things I kind of like about it is that it's never really a money problem for the main guy, for the protagonist. He's got tons of money. That's just not a thing. The stakes are always so low in a way. There's always someone about to get married who doesn't want to get married, or someone who really wants to get married, but there's some ridiculous obstacle in the way, and it's all very silly, and it's fun. Now, Wodehouse himself had a bit of an interesting history. When he was, I guess it was in World War II, he found himself behind enemy lines. I mean, he was not a soldier. I think he was probably in Paris when the Germans invaded. And he, I suppose, considering himself a lighthearted sort of comic writer, did some radio shows from I might be getting most of this wrong, did some radio shows from there, which unfortunately were taken and probably were given by the Germans as propaganda. Like look how great everything is, the Germans are so great. It's not that he said that or that he particularly did anything wrong, but it was taken very badly that he was doing lighthearted radio shows from occupied France. I believe he was in occupied France. And the truth is that they never let him forget it, and he never forgot, and he ended up moving to America. I'm not sure he ever went back to England and lived the rest of his life in the United States. It's a little bit less fun, but the books themselves, this book itself and the stories within are all of them just sort of good, lighthearted fun. That's The Best of Wodehouse, put out by Everyman's Library.